Okay, so there we go. Now I see we're starting there. I see the little green button go live there on YouTube. Hi, everybody. Uh, I'm Jan Erickson. I write the blog Stepping Aside, and today I wanted to discuss with everyone the role of the empath in Ascension. For those of you who read my blog, you may know that I'm an empath and a witch, and I wrote a book called Empath. You know, not a very original title, but it basically describes how I view all of this, what my life was like growing up, what it's like now, and how I see being an empath in the world today. But one of the things we talk a lot about now is ascension. It's that spiritual ascension of going to a higher density of awareness. And empaths have an interesting role, I think, to play in that. One of the things that I research a lot is the Law of One and other kinds of channelings and ancient texts that talk about who we are, kind of aside from what religion tells us. I like that kind of stuff. It's interesting. I think it has a place in how we see who we are and what this whole world is all about. But the empaths, when empaths come into this world, they're how that plays out in form in the body is that we're aware of the emotional vibrations or resonance of other people. We might also experience their physical symptoms. Some of us are medical intuitives, and that's always fun. We may experience other people's intentions or thoughts. That can happen a lot during vampiric attacks. And the other thing that the empaths are famous for is having a nice bullshit detector, because we typically know when someone's lying. For me, what happens is the vibration changes. Things get real dense, and the air feels real thick, and so I know at that point that something's off. So either that person just wants to be private, which is, we all have that right to be private. We don't all have to go out on YouTube and bare our souls. But and that feels one way. When someone's really, though, trying to deceive, that's really intense. And so my radar picks up right away when something like that's going on. But what we're actually experiencing, because we're essentially souls trying to stuff a little part of that into a body, we're really experiencing, when we're experiencing people's emotions and thoughts and whatnot, we're really experiencing the greater unified presence of Source. Everything is a projection of Source energy. And so us, my computer, my coffee cup, my candles, all of it's just an extension of Source energy. Source says, I'm going to know more, so extends itself into form and knows more. We're also experiencing the vibration of space-time, basically. And we're also, I like to view that basically as the hum of creation. So it's an interesting thing to experience, all of this stuff, but sometimes we tend to live life as an energetic receiver until we figure all this out. And we tend to absorb these emotions and thoughts and intentions of others instead of, observing them like, everyone says, oh, just observe, don't absorb. Sometimes that's not always easy to do, especially when the intention's vampiric. So, but during this time of ascension, where the planet, I believe, has already done its thing, and that's why things are so uncomfortable, because we're not really in sync with Gaia, so things are a little dicey right now. You either come into this life in service to self or service to others, and it may seem like there's a lot of service to self people right now. They're just working their stuff out. They're going to ascend right with everybody else, perhaps along a different line, but that's fine. Everyone ascends in some way, shape, or form. So, but because of this issue of this conflict that we're all experiencing, it really means that saying, observe, don't absorb, that we really have to focus in and watch that we stay in the observation mode. Which kind of brings me to where I'm thinking here about holding space for others. As an empath, we actually have the ability, because we experience the greater resonance of our non-physical aspect of self, we have the ability to hold space for awareness and observation. We have that ability to do that, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Because here's the thing. Just because we experience these emotions and vibrations from others doesn't mean that we have to then feel in and become hooked up to it. We can just stand back and go, okay, this is happening, and not judge it, not do anything, just observe it. And if it's uncomfortable, move away. Don't engage with it at all. Don't become involved emotionally in this stuff. It's just not worth it. And then it makes it difficult for you then to balance energy around you, which is what we really need to be doing right now. If we're not staying present when we do that, then we're in the mix, we're in the abyss with everyone else, and we can't necessarily extricate ourselves from it, not without having a lot of experience doing it. So that's why, if you are going to try this whole notion of present moment awareness, staying in that and balancing energies for others, you've got to stay in that present moment awareness to do it. So you're going to have to meditate probably to work on that kind of stuff, because it doesn't come easily to everybody. We're very distracted. Empaths are very, this energy pops up, we're like, oh, what's that? So we're easily distracted. Staying in the present moment is real critical if we're going to be able to help balance energies around us during this time of ascension. So how do we do that? Well, you're all aware of the chakra system. If you start meditating on the heart chakra and start focusing your attention there when these difficult energies start surrounding you, or actually you should probably do that before you even leave the house, but try to stay in your heart chakra. Keep your focus on love. Emit that instead of taking in this other energy. Emit the love that's coming from the heart chakra. Literally focus on it. Focus and see that green energy, that love energy, that pink, green, however you view the heart chakra. Typically it's green, but some people see kind of a pinkish green. I kind of do a blend. And then emit that love. Bring it in, be very focused, and then send it out with intention to the rest of the collective consciousness. It's a way that we keep our vibration high, and it's a way that others then can't reach us with their crazy intention and vampiric stuff that they want to put on us. Staying away from judgment, viewing all as perfect. Course in Miracles talks a lot about that. Seeing a brother instead of the other. The law of one itself calls that seeing everyone as our other selves. And that makes sense, because if we all are essentially extensions of source energy, then how are we not one with each other? We are. So to see each other as our other selves is probably the greatest blessing we can give one another. To stay away from the judgment and to just simply hold space for those people to then rise in their own frequency along with us. We're at the end of a great cycle. This is, I kind of think, our third 25,000 year period. And now the Earth is ascending to fourth density. We're going to do the same. But what also has happened, according to the law of one, is that people from fourth, fifth, and sixth density spirit from fourth, fifth, and sixth densities have decided to come back during this time and experience this whole ascension with us. Some of it's to help their own issues in their own ascension, but a lot of it is to just be here for the rest of us. Now, not all wanderers, although they call them wanderers, not all of them come in and know that that's in fact what they are, but most of them when they come in, they realize that they're not like other people. Maybe they grow up and they feel alienated. Maybe they feel like they don't fit in. Maybe they naturally go and research spiritual issues. Some don't ever really realize. They know there's something off, but and that they don't fit, but they don't necessarily take that leap into awareness. And so those that do, I think, probably are here to in service to others and to assist everyone in their development and in the ascension onto the next density, whatever that's going to end up being. And the reason why I think that empaths are probably wanderers is just simply the way that the Law of One describes them. When someone from a higher density decides to become a wanderer and they want to come in to a lower density and experience that, they call it permeating the veil of forgetting. Well, that's essentially what happens to an empath, is that they permeate the veil of forgetting. They realize that there's something about them that's different. They realize that they know things they shouldn't know. They freak out their parents. I know I freaked out mine. You learn very quickly to hide these awarenesses because nobody believes you anyway. And you just don't interact the same way. You're emotional. You pick up on things that other people don't pick up on. And so when I was reading the Law of One, I've read it, many times, actually. I don't know what reading I'm in it right now. I think I'm in book 3 again, but for the umpteenth time. But it seems that the way the Ra group describes wanderers, it just seems like it aligns perfectly with what we're calling empaths now. So I have a feeling that that's what an empath is, that it's actually just a wanderer who's chosen to come into this incarnation to assist others in the ascension. So, and when I think about it that way, the whole resonance thing happens with me. I actually feel when something aligns in truth. And so that's what happens. The whole vibration starts going everywhere. So I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. And again, not all of us are going to understand what we're doing or what we're feeling or what we're experiencing enough to be able to then behave proactively and be of some help to people. But the more I think about this, I think that's where we're going. I think that's the purpose and why we're here. Doing the work that we do, for those of us that are aware of this stuff. I think that we're just here to assist in this whole transformation. We can take all of that crazy energy that we're experiencing and see it for what it is. Visualize the heart chakra. And hold the space for love and allowing which allows our own frequency to rise. Here's the thing: vampiric energy cannot reach us if our frequency is high. It just kind of bounces off. It doesn't, or goes around us. It doesn't enter. But one of the things that Law of One also talks about is the first distortion, which is free will. We don't have a right to decide for someone else how they live or how they experience the world and how they experience this whole thing we're doing. We don't have a right to do that. Everyone has a right. They decide this before we ever come in to form what our overall theme's going to be. We might get real detailed about it. We might not. But the point is it's all here for us. And then we come into form and we make our decisions and we decide how we're going to view everything. And from there, we experience our life. So if you hold the space for people to make their own realizations, then they rise to that frequency on their own. You don't engage with them and make that connection or that channel, because now you're down into that vibration that they're in. Stay in your own. Stay in your heart chakra. Stay in your own resonance. Allow them to find their way to you. It's the way we keep ourselves loving and not, and we keep ourselves sane, because it's not fun to experience a lot of this, conflictual type of energy that's out there. Let's see, what have I forgot? Well, like wanderers, empaths like to be in service to people. We like to help out. We like to make sure everything is okay. The problem with that is, inherent in that is a little bit of a judgment. Who decides what's okay? Instead, we should simply see things as just stuff. Decide how we feel about it. If we like it, fine. If we don't, fine. But we don't have to get involved and we don't have to judge it. We can just exist in our own alignment. But that said, if you're being hit with vampiric energy, take whatever measures you need to. Shield, get away, do whatever you have to do. Turn your attention away from it. Don't look at it, because you don't need it. And remember that, there go the glasses on the floor. Remember that when you are doing this for others, not judging them, not getting caught up in their own crazy energy, standing apart, holding your resonance and your vibration high. You create that wonderful gift for them. I mean, how do you feel when you're losing your mind and your best friend just sits there and loves you anyway? Doesn't say anything, just, is there. That's how we need to be with each other. Just be there. Hold that space. Keep that love flowing. We're spirit, occupying a body for a little while. A series of little whiles. But in truth, our life force can't be contained. The greater part of us, our spirit, remains everywhere, creating and experiencing the unified presence of Source. Each one of us is here for our own purpose, and it may involve other people in our soul group, so to speak, but realistically, each one of us is here doing our own thing. Humanity is meant to progress, both materially, technologically, and spiritually. And we're riding that spiritual wave right now. And instead of having to constantly deflect or shield intrusive energies, if we focus on our alignment and raising our vibrations, we really can do this. We can have a role in Ascension that's more than just our own, in terms of our own development. We can actually assist others to do the same. So I guess that's it. That's really all I wanted to say. Think about it. Try it. You might surprise yourself, whether you're an empath or not. Try looking at others without any judgment. Smile more. And hold that space for others to do whatever it is they need to do. So I guess that's it for today. And if you like, I'd love you to check out my blog, Stepping Aside, at imsteppingaside.com. I put it down in the description or something. I don't know where I put it, but I put it there somewhere. I talk about all sorts of things there: tarot, runes, astrology, little human design, cannabis, being a witch, being an empath. So try to have a really wonderful day. And as always, thanks for watching. Blessings.